This is the story of the deadliest aviation disaster in history. It started like any other day at the small Los Rodeos airport on the Spanish island of Tenerife. The year was 1977. The location was the Los Rodeos Airport, also known as Tenerife South Airport. Now this airport today serves over 10 million passengers every single year. But back then, it was pretty small and definitely was unprepared for the amount of traffic that it received. Now this is because just a few days before, there was a terrorist bomb at another airport in the Canary Islands called Gran Canaria. So all flights scheduled to land there had to be diverted. So that's why they were all headed to Tenerife. Also, at the same time, some overflight restrictions were in effect due to Mount Tide, which is an active volcano. So that made things a little bit more complicated. Now, with all of this going on, the airport was packed with planes. On top of this, it was March, which was the busiest day of the week for flights, meaning the airport was incredibly busy. Now, with all of this going on, two of the world's largest passenger airplanes arrived. These were both Boeing 747s, one belonging to KLM Royal Dutch Airlines, the other to Pan Am. Both of these aircraft needed to take off. But before they even started their takeoff run, Mother Nature threw a wrench into the works. Thick fog rolled in, covering the area. Visibility dropped to just a few feet. It was so thick that pilots couldn't see beyond a few feet in front of them. The airport was in chaos. There were long lines of planes waiting to take off and land. After a while, the KLM 747 was cleared to take off. Their flight to Miami was running late, and the pilot knew that he needed to get his plane airborne as soon as possible. After completing all of the pre-takeoff checks, he set the massive jet into motion. It shot forward down the runway, building up speed. The powerful engines roared, shaking the very foundation of the airport. As the KLM sped down the runway, the Pan Am 747 was still sitting on the tarmac. Its job was to take off next, but first it needed to taxi to the beginning of the runway. With visibility at just 200 meters, the air traffic controller was struggling to coordinate all of the planes. He was working as fast as he could, trying to keep track of everything. For the KLM crew, they were focused on getting airborne. As the runway sped by, the captain looked out the window. He didn't see the Pan Am 747. For him, the visibility was too poor to see anything beyond a few feet. He assumed that he was clear to take off. Little did he know that his massive jet was about to collide with the other 747. With all of the fog around them, neither pilot could see the other. Each one thought that he was the only plane on the runway. The KLM was close to the speed needed for takeoff. At 170 miles per hour, the captain pushed the engines to full power. In a moment, he would be taking off. At this point, the Pan Am crew suddenly noticed the lights of the KLM 747 streaking towards them. They were horrified. They realized that the KLM was about to hit them head-on. They immediately called out, "Get off," frantically trying to put their giant plane into a position where it wouldn't get hit. But it was too late. With no way out, the Pan Am crew braced for impact. Before anyone could react, the KLM's nose lifted. Moments later, the entire world exploded in fire and metal. The KLM crashed into the Pan Am, puncturing holes in the fuselage. People were thrown from the burning wreckage. Screams filled the night as flames spread throughout the fuselage. The force of the collision was devastating. The KLM's engines tore through the Pan Am, ripping it apart. Engines fell off both planes, falling to the ground like giant metal bombs. Fuel from the ruptured tanks ignited, sending fire and debris raining down onto the airport. Windows shattered. Parts of the planes rained down onto the surrounding area. In a matter of seconds, the runway was engulfed in flames and smoke. It was pure pandemonium. Of the 396 people aboard the Pan Am 747, only 61 survived. On the KLM, all 248 people were killed instantly. The Tenerife disaster claimed the lives of 583 people. It remains the deadliest aviation accident in history. So what caused this catastrophic accident? Well, the investigation revealed that there was no one cause, rather a combination of factors that led to the disaster. First, there was the issue of visibility. The thick fog bank that rolled over the airport reduced visibility to near zero. Neither pilot could see the other. Then there was the issue of communication. When the KLM was cleared to take off, the captain assumed that the runway was clear. He didn't realize that the Pan Am was still on the runway. What's really interesting is that the KLM's first officer actually did call out the Pan Am 747, but the captain misheard him and thought that he was calling for something else. On the Pan Am side, their crew was also looking for clearance to take off. They were also expecting the runway to be clear. Since the controller hadn't given them any warnings, unfortunately, the controller was overwhelmed with all of the planes, and he simply forgot to tell the Pan Am crew that the KLM was cleared to take off. To make matters worse, when the KLM was cleared to take off, it was moving very fast. The fact that they were speeding down the runway without any communication from the Pan Am crew put them right into the path of danger. Finally, there was the issue of airport design. The Tenerife airport was simply not designed to handle the amount of traffic that it was getting that day. The lack of proper ground radar systems and the absence of a second instrument runway contributed to the disaster. The airport was just not equipped to handle the situation. The Tenerife disaster is remembered as one of the deadliest aviation disasters in history. It's a stark reminder of how quickly disaster can strike even in the most routine of operations. The loss of 583 lives was a devastating blow. The investigation that followed was thorough, aiming to understand the chain of events that led to this catastrophe. But the Tenerife disaster wasn't just a technical failure, it was a human tragedy. It was a testament to the fallibility of even the most experienced pilots and the gravity of mistakes in high-stakes environments. The accident prompted sweeping changes in aviation protocols. One of the most significant changes was in the realm of communication. The phrase takeoff clearance was standardized worldwide, eliminating any room for misinterpretation. New ground radar systems were installed at airports, providing air traffic controllers with better situational awareness. In the wake of the disaster, airports like Tenerife implemented measures to improve visibility and navigation. Enhanced lighting systems were put in place to help pilots navigate in low visibility conditions. The use of ground proximity warning systems was also expanded, alerting pilots when they were getting too close to the ground. The Tenerife disaster shook the aviation industry to its core. It forced a global introspection, pushing for better safety measures and clearer communication. The accident served as a catalyst for change, ensuring that the mistakes of the past paved the way for safer skies in the future. Even today, the lessons from Tenerife are taught to pilots and air traffic controllers around the world. The memory of the 583 lives lost serves as a constant reminder of the importance of precision and clarity in the aviation industry. So here's my question for you. What do you think could have been done differently to prevent this disaster? Or do you think that it was simply a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you want to watch more videos like this, stay tuned. Otherwise, catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching.